While Cyberpunk 2077 is still littered with bugs, CDPR has understood that they can't work on them forever, and they've revealed they've been shifting much of their current team onto making fresh content for the game. The split announced in the recent earnings call was that 40% of the Cyberpunk team was now working on fixes for the game, while the other 60% is working on new content, and those numbers used to be very lopsided in the other direction, and will continue to shift toward more and more of the team working on new content alone. After every patch, Cyberpunk players are quick to point out a zillion bugs that still exist within the game, so there's always work to be done, even after massive patches like 1.2 which had something like 500 issues fixed. The major end goals for CDPR are to a. Get Sony to let Cyberpunk back on the PlayStation Store, but it's unclear how many bugs it needs to fix or how much it has to improve performance for that to happen, but really also b. Get past the narrative that Cyberpunk is a buggy, unfinished game, and putting out enough fixes so it feels complete before new content arrives. What is that new content? It's likely split into two things: the promised free DLC that is supposed to be out before the end of the first half of 2021, and recent leaks point to maybe June as a possible release date for that content. But also the plan appears to be to continue on with the idea that Cyberpunk will get substantive expansions, Witcher-style paid DLC, in the future, though not until next year at the earliest. I do wonder if the multiplayer Night City game they had planned being cancelled has allowed for a lot of workers to go back to working on Cyberpunk proper, so this could bode well for both paid and free DLC content. We have gotten at least some hints about the coming free DLC through data mining, and there appear to be a lot of additions like new clothes, cars and cyberware. The game itself is teasing some things too, like the empty attribute slot now displaying a relic logo after the latest patch, and data mining said that the term relic was a label for something in the coming free DLCs. As for larger expansions, that's anyone's guess. Cyberpunk left so many loose ends open that it could be any number of things, like a return to fan-favorite characters like Judy or Panem, or exploring seemingly cut characters like Morgan Blackhand or aborted storylines like Mr. Blue Eyes. But we've heard absolutely nothing about what future expansions will contain, datamined or otherwise. It's just too early for that. New content is the only thing that would get me to engage with Cyberpunk again at this point, as bug fixes aren't really something to come back for unless you're stuck on a very specific mission. We'll see what this focus on new content brings, though likely not for a little while yet. Follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to my free weekly content roundup newsletter, God Rolls.